Hi guys, my name is Natalie, aka DJ Envy, aka Scatterly 2.0, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you very much for joining me on this tiny little corner of the internet. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and share this with anyone who you think might be interested. So today's content has been inspired by a Channel 4 News Q&A and interview.
But are you also to blame? Because today you're saying, well, we're going to be gradual and careful in our interest rate cuts. Are you once again too slow to boost the economy in the way that some say is needed?
Well,
Is there a kind of get out of jail free card for Keir Starmer here in the shape of continued high immigration, given that that's probably going to show up sooner or it's here with us already?
What I would say is this: when you look at the weak growth performance of this economy over the last 15 years, there are two things that make up the underlying growth of the economy: the supply of labour and productivity. Productivity has a lot to do with investment,
which I clocked a few weeks ago. So I'm a little bit late to the party, and this is off the back of the BBC's Immigration Week, whatever that is. But I have been noticing, especially in their news reports and in their social media content, they've been posting a lot of immigration themed content, and also just talking about productivity, the recession, inflation.
Big man Steves is an immigrant. He applied to come live and work in this country legally. Steves has got his trusty old visa. It was a fucking ball ache to try and get. It cost him a ton of money with lawyers, etc. because it is actually very hard to immigrate into the United Kingdom. We actually have some of the strictest migration controls. This visa is very limited. It doesn't give him free NHS. He has to pay roughly £1,000 a year to use the NHS. He's not able to claim benefits. He's not able to get housing assistance. Our boy Big man Steves is very good for the economy, and all in all a net benefit to the country. However, we just like to make it very expensive and tiring for him to migrate here. Alright, so if I said the word immigrant or illegal immigrant or refugee, and in your brain a sort of blurry image of like a Syrian man on a boat come into your country wanting to turn your local Greggs into an ISIS recruitment agency, then I just want to give a round of applause to The Sun, the Daily Mail and Twitter.
If you know me in my professional and personal life, I have completed a CIPD accredited course, which means I'm a human resources and learning and development professional, and I have CIPD associate membership and have my certificate to prove it. In my professional life, I have worked in the human resources department in various sectors, including the healthcare sector, and now more recently in the further educational and higher educational sector. I'm not going to go into the details of what I used to do, but generally I used to deal with onboarding of individuals in the UK as well as overseas into different roles of employment within the business, either within the NHS at Oxford University hospitals or within different research groups at Oxford University. So a key part of my responsibilities was to recruit overseas workers into the UK who've been offered a role of employment into the business. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details of the processes about how to obtain a visa. However, I am going to give you an overall summary of how strict and thorough it is to actually obtain a visa in the first place if you're an overseas applicant and want to secure your role of employment when you do start here in the UK. Because there seem to be a lot of negative attitudes and ideas and views about immigration in general. And in my role of employment as a human resources generalist, I was responsible for making sure that when the overseas individual was based here in the UK, I was the intermediary between the FCDO, the candidate, the hiring manager, and different departments within the university or the NHS Foundation Trust, to make sure there was the prevention of illegal working within the business, and to make sure that the candidate or the applicant is here working in the UK legally. Sometimes this would be a legal implication to it, so therefore I would get in contact with immigration lawyers as well as getting in contact with police departments to make sure there are police record checks. So there have been certain views which I've noticed not only in the media but obviously on different YouTube videos where people have very strong views about the negative ramifications of people obtaining roles of employment within the UK. But what this video is meant to do is provide a little bit of insight, to spill a little bit of tea about how thorough, strict and rigorous the sponsorship application as well as the visa application process is, because it's not a case of someone overseas obtaining or securing one of these roles of employment and instantly they've got access to housing and the NHS and schooling for their kids, and their partner could be able to live here without any funding. It is getting more increasingly difficult for people from overseas who are non-UK nationals to actually live, work and reside here in the UK. And this is the information which I am just going to provide to you from my perspective as being a human resources and resourcing professional.